Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. Today I'm joined Dr. Baur from Caja Robotics, and we're talking about warehouses, robots, and automation, and what are the expectations for 2022. Christian, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I just mentioned warehouse robots in 2022. So what are your expectations for the market and development?
The market will further grow, as we all have seen even in the last years, that this market is really a double-digit growth, and that will continue. And we see big demands. And that's not just by Caja, where we also got some nice orders, but I think by all the leading suppliers for this warehouse automation, and especially for the robot.
And how do you think that things changed over the course of the last 2 years? Have you noticed any increase in interest?
Yeah, I think, and that's what we have seen, that the pandemic was accelerating the need for automation. So automation, as we all know, is always depending on the decision to go for automation, depending on the ROI. So you do some calculation, and finance is doing and saying, is the ROI okay, or is it not okay? But now, additionally to that, it comes more and more that there's even tougher shortage of labor. So you don't find the labor at the peak times, and if you want to be competitive, you need to deliver. Mm-hmm. You need to deliver in time. You need to deliver the right products. If you don't do so, you will lose your customers, and that's why it's that important. And that's, I think, it's also seen and even more now recognized in the industry. And also, of course, let's say the need for solution, for fast and flexible solutions, for solutions they don't need to plan years and till it's built, it's 3-4 years, it's gone. Where you can really react in a quick and fast manner to the changing customer demands, and they are changing that really fast, as we all know.
And what are then the first steps? You're talking about flexible solutions. What are the first steps when a company is looking into, okay, I want to put robots in my warehouse. Where do I start?
Yeah, first of all, the company has to be aware of their business case, and to see, okay, what's the plan for the future? What do we want to serve, and what's really the goal and the strategy? And if you know that, and if you say, okay, then you also know what to do. And then the first step is really to say, okay, what part can be automated? Where even today there's a lots of traffic and a big demand for these products. And then you start planning. And then, of course, it's nice if the supplier or the vendor of these automation has tools to offer to do that emulation or that simulation in a very fast and quick manner, because these days you don't have the time. You do not have the time to wait half a year, especially for the smaller solutions. If you invest 100 million or 200 million, that's different. But we're talking about this entry solutions that has to be done quickly. And that's also something here Caja is doing in a perfect way. So they have their software in the cloud. They can do the emulation, and they can give you a really quick response. And then 6 months later, you can the system is then up and running. And I think that's getting more and more important, because the world is changing. It's changing even faster than before.
Hey there. Thank you for watching. We will continue with the interview shortly. But before that, if you like what you see, don't forget to give us a like, comment, and you can also subscribe to our newsletters both on LinkedIn and on our website to learn more from the logistics and supply chain industry. And now, let's get back to it. Is it easy to say, well, these are the initial costs and this is when you will see the results of implementing something?
Yeah, of course. If you talk about the cost, it's first of all, it's nice if you can use existing infrastructure. If you can reuse it, it's not just from economical point, but also being fast and being more sustainable acting. I think that's also important. And then of course you can start, if you have a flexible system which you can scale up. You can start with a smaller investment. Then you can test it together with your people, because of course also there your staff has to be used to the new processes. That's different process, and then you can scale it up. But of course, if you ask for tough number, it has the ROI has to be and is there in these systems below 2 years. So you have to pay back within 2 years. So that's the goal. It must be the goal. And then you can scale it up and train your organization to become ready for automation. And that's.
Is it hard to train your organization to become ready for automation? Is this the hard part?
Yes, it's not an easy. It's not an easy part because in the past, if you can pick it manually, then you can go there, and it's also easier to instruct and to train people. But if you have to train them to use the computer, then of course you have to have some affinity to use that computer, because at the end of the day, let's say the little disadvantage of the more digitalized world is that you have to be really use the tools, and then you cannot just do it looking and fixing it to change the picking strategies.
What are the things that companies should look for when choosing a provider? Is it the solution, the cost, maintenance, all of these, or something else?
I believe at the end of the day, of course, it's, if you would ask our finance guy, the same question, it's all of these, because you always do this, to say the so-called total cost of ownership and the lifetime cost but I believe if you look for a provider, you need to have, first of all, you need to have the right technology that fits to your demand, to your purposes. I think that's number one. And then number two, of course, you need to have somebody where also, let's say this, you have a fit to a company, a provider. They say, okay, these you can trust them. They deliver what you ask them for, and they are maybe becoming a long-term partner. Because I believe in today's world where you see all the shortages there, you need to build up networks also with suppliers. And that's also, by the way, what you see these days, that's changing. You are happy if you get your goods delivered. You have to be happy if all your systems are built up quickly, because there's a shortage of labor and there's a shortage of material. And that's why it's always, let's say, important to have these more long-term partnerships to build that up.
Just talking about all these shortages, and you're lucky if you get your things delivered. Is it hard actually to plan now after 2 years of pandemic? Projects like this, they are big projects.
No, because you have on the other side, 2 years after the pandemic, the big advantage is that money is cheap.
Okay.
So it means money is cheap. You get the money, and you have the money you can invest. And also I also firmly believe that this pandemic was quite good for companies to get even better, because you see your weaknesses, they see the weaknesses, and see the need where they have to do better. To not just to survive, but to be better than others in their markets. And that's all. And along with that comes the need that you have to more digitalization to have a clear strategy, to have something where you can act flexible, and of course supported by automation. Because I say it again, in the more well-developed countries, there will be an even tougher shortage of labor, especially of manual labor in the future. You all get older and older, but we need somebody to prepare our Christmas parcels, and that's what you have to imagine today. If you see what parcels are coming here and send forth and back, and there you need the support, and there you need flexible solutions which can also then handle, let's say, peak season in a good and fair manner, and you have to build up, let's say, some kind of intelligent automation strategy for your company. And even smaller companies, I firmly believe, should do so. Start with some entry and to see if it's working out. Does it fit? Can they manage it? And what's really at the end of the day the outcome?
And you just said peak season. Is there a huge difference between the peak season, let's say Christmas, and then sort of a normal period when these systems are operating?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have this Black Friday in the US, if they have Christmas here, if you have Double 11 in China, that's 4-5. That's incredible. Yeah. You cannot compare them. There you have the peaks, and then there's some months with just slower business. And there, I think you need to have some flexible systems where, for example, if you're talking here about robots, in general, warehouse robots, where you can rent some of the robots to add some capacity for a limited period of time, and then adjust it in an intelligent manner.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. And for everyone watching right now, they can also find more information in the description down below, as well as on our website. Christian, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.